Good evening to you all. Everyone here is getting accustomed to the cold. All you elsewhere who are warm at home. It's interesting to examine our our sensations of pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral. Depending on our circumstances, we might find the cool or the cold slightly on the unpleasant side. Or perhaps more so. If we think back in the recent months when the temperature was up around 100, and then think how this cool sensation might have appeared at that time. It might have appeared as pleasant. This is one way that we can see how the stories that we tell ourselves are not the same as the sensations that we experience. Though we may feel that they are intrinsically linked. Intrinsically linked as in an identity, one equals the other almost. Just this simple contemplation is a way to begin the process of becoming free from how our stories entrap us. It may seem like a simple matter. And being a simple matter, one with limited importance or potency. But if we actually follow it carefully, it's possible to see that this is actually a thread on the fabric of confusion that we could pull on and unravel all of confusion. There are many threads hanging out, but this is one that we could pull. Just beginning to see that the stories and the sensations are not the same. When we see others in difficult circumstances, even horrifying circumstances, one element in our response of compassion is to wish that they were not in that circumstance. Like the people caught in the fires in California. So many other examples that could quickly come to mind. And whatever we could do to take them out of that circumstance, we should do it. But over time, particularly over, if you think of terms lifetime after lifetime, there are circumstances that we just cannot escape. There are circumstances that we can just not, there's no way to just terminate them, to rescue people from the condition itself. And in these cases, from this perspective, we can still wish that in the midst of whatever circumstance a being might find itself, that there is some freedom, that there is freedom from suffering. This can seem quite abstract, but if we just go back to the beginning and think about the stories that we tell ourselves about our sensations, positive, negative, pleasant, unpleasant, and if we can for a moment find some freedom in the middle of that, perhaps that we can have some confidence that this could go deeper and deeper. For the benefit of ourselves and for the benefit of all beings, it's a profoundly worthy endeavor to cultivate this freedom. In calm abiding, we have the opportunity to set aside our involvement in the stories that we tell ourselves. We can use thought itself as the object of meditation. But it's important to be able to have the capacity to not be lost in the content, not be lost in the story if we do this. The deeper we take this practice, the more freedom there is in what arises in the mind. There's a line from a poem, I think by Patrul Rinpoche, which says something along the lines like, just like a rope that has been burned to ash, if we can see through thoughts, they no longer bind us, just as a rope burned to ash can no longer bind. So perhaps we can begin with our refuge and bodhicitta prayer, the deep aspiration that we can cultivate gradually, step by step, profound freedom and bring benefit to all. Till the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go forth.
absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness. Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness. Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness.
For this session, if you wish, you can try alternating between some time of allowing the attention to rest directly in the experience of the breath coming and going, and occasionally just allowing the attention to open and meet whatever thought that arises in awareness. Attending to the recognition that it's just a thought. If you're not familiar with this, it's probably best to do it very briefly, since the habit of becoming lost in the story is so strong. So from that perspective, to mainly engage in resting the attention on the breath, then occasionally just drop that. And meet whatever thought that arises. whenever you become aware that you're distracted, refresh the meditation. It can be helpful to rediscover where we are and what we're doing by finding the experience of the breath, and then beginning again.
this virtue may I quickly realize Mahamudra and establish all beings without exception in this state.
Thank you all. Some reminders as usual. Is there anyone here who's not aware that this Saturday, October 21st, from 1 till...
From noon to 6.
From noon to 6.
Yeah.
Okay, from noon to 6, we'll have our open house here with the bake sale and the sit-a-thon and some instructions from Lama Michael and the rest of us, and a bookstore sale where you can, I think now it's past due on time to bring books for that. So. Oh, and art. Yeah, Dharma art. So all that will happen this Saturday. Come one, come all, bring friends and family. Then the following week, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, the Mind Training Study Group will dive into, you haven't dove in yet, have you?
No.
They will dive in.
We've diven a lot.
Divin, yes.
Div, dove.
Yes, okay.
We've dived a lot, but we're
Yes.
dive into a new text.
Into a new text, the eight verses of thought transformation. So this is, since it's only 8 verses as opposed to 57 slogans, this will be kind of an easier thing to dive into the middle of, even if you don't come to the first session. But it will be very familiar, I'm sure, to anybody who's even had a glancing blow with mind training. So
Thursday after next, right?
yeah, Thursday after next.
Second and fourth Thursday.
And you're now at something like 20 people?
Yeah.
My word. That's delightful. That
20
means
lively
people.
Some
That
of
means
them
that some of
in
you
this
are no
room.
doubt, yes, some of you are no doubt part of this. The following Saturday, I will do something 9 to 4 on with a little bit of an overview of Vajrayana practice, but mainly using the Chenrezig practice, the most condensed form of that, as a means for showing how the basic principles of Vajrayana practice manifest in this kind of concise sadhana. And that's the Chenrezig, the Bodhisattva of compassion. So you could say you could understand Chenrezig or Avalokiteshvara as the manifestation of the Buddha's compassionate energy. Something like that. That's one way to see it. And so this will be an opportunity to go through that. I'm going to condense my words of general explanation to try to keep them rather brief, and to use the guided meditation as a means for demonstrating as opposed to talking. Then right after that, not right after that, but on November 4th, Julie Herlacher will begin 3 Saturday afternoon series. I think it's 3 to 5, if I'm not mistaken, on there's more to dying than death. we're 50-50 on whether or not we've got it confused in that it's more to death than dying. But one way or the other, they both make a lot of sense if you notice, if you think about it. So we're looking forward to that continuation of the momentum that's been created with some of the other death and dying programs that have been done over the past several years. When are you doing your Tonglen?
That's the first week in December, Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday, a non-residential retreat.
2 days here.
2 days here.
On Tonglen.
So, and we have Bodhisattva night coming up. I think it's the 14th, something like that. Middle of December, Bodhisattva night. The first Bodhisattva night here. So that's...
it might be shifted a little from night to a little earlier for the little ones.
For the little
and
ones.
The parents.
Yes.
Not having it go so late. We're thinking about that. We've had some input.
Mm-hmm. I think that's it. Not quite.
I have a question about the special celebration in our sit-a-thon.
Yes.
Where will the sit-a-thon be held? Will it be in here? Will it be out in the tent area? How should we come prepared in case it's outside? So
It'll be in a big snowbank.
oh, good.
Right outside.
Wow.
So we're waiting to see what weather is, but the plan right now is the tent with heaters.
Oh, okay.
So, and you know, you can join in for 15 minutes. There's, 10 minutes.
You want to tough it out for an hour.
Yeah.
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 I've never seen anything quite explain how that's supposed to work. Are we just going to show up and put numbers on our shirts and sit there as long as we can?
Yeah,
You
win a t-shirt.
Yeah, you get extra credit for the 2x4 zafu, sitting on a wooden plank.
So what we did last year, it was held at Grant High School Park, and it's a fundraiser. All of this, the whole day, we haven't mentioned that enough, all of this is a fundraiser for KCC. So it would be quite good if you can come and buy a pie, you can buy a book, or if you don't want those things, just give whatever you can. The sit-a-thon is designed to get pledges, and they are exceedingly easy to get. You just send an email out to your friends and family, and anybody who's interested in peace in the world, and say, I will sit and be quiet instead of run around and instead of walking miles. And would you like to pledge $5, $10 for me to sit 15 minutes? And then they can just give that to you and you can bring it to KCC. So you can join any amount. Lama Michael will likely lead the first sit at 1 o'clock. So we're starting at noon, but to mingle around. But the sit-a-thon will be 1 to 5. And it'll start on the hour. And there'll be about a 40-minute sit with Lama Michael leading, me leading, Bill leading, and some other senior student leading who's to be announced. And you can sit any amount of time you want. You can sit 5 minutes. It's going to be very flexible. Come in quietly, go out. And then there will be about a 40-minute sit and a 20-minute break. The next time on the hour, it'll start again, 40-minute sit, 20-minute break. So people can come in here. They can be out there. If the weather's really, really horrible, I don't really know what the plan will be. We will be flexible. Okay.
Something else will happen.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe we'll sit down in the unfinished community room and bless it or something. We'll figure it out. Okay. So other questions, just ask us during break.
Without further ado, grab some water, hot water, and say hello, and come back. And for anybody who has not had the opportunity or would just like to take advantage of this moment, I always welcome people to come up and say hello, old and new friends, and also to say hello to, and for anybody who doesn't know me, I'm Bill. There's Zopa and Dora. You can feel free to talk to us. We're actually okay.
Some of us. Some bite. Or bark. Bark, but don't bite. Border collies.
What's that?